Sagittarius, if you're hearing this voice right now, it's not by accident. There's a wave of energy rising around you. Powerful, sacred, unstoppable, ready to sweep away everything and everyone who once wanted to see you fall. A woman, someone who once looked down on you, who carried envy in her eyes when she saw your light, now stands on the edge of her own collapse. But don't misunderstand. This isn't revenge. This is divine justice, turning the wheel to return light to the one who deserves it. I promise you this, if you stay until the end, you'll understand why this moment marks the greatest turning point of your awakening. The rebirth of a Sagittarius who is free, righteous, and protected by destiny. Write it down in the comments. I am ready to receive the justice of the universe, because before this message ends, I'll reveal a secret that only Sagittarius souls will truly understand. Sagittarius, this week, your energy isn't just shifting, it's awakening. As Jupiter, your ruling planet, moves through Gemini, your opposing sign, the veil between light and shadow within you begins to lift. This is the moment the universe shines a spotlight on old emotions, unhealed ties, and the people who once envied or misunderstood you. Everything hidden in silence is being returned to its rightful place. And the most fascinating part is, you don't have to do anything. The universe itself is rearranging the pieces, restoring balance, placing light back into the hands of the worthy. Jupiter carries the vibration of divine law. When it opposes, it doesn't warn, it awakens. Those who've sown lies, jealousy, or harm will now face the reflection of their own energy. Energy never disappears. It only changes form and finds its way back to where it began. And you, Sagittarius, you only need to stand firm in your faith. Don't react, don't retaliate, because when you remain calm in chaos, you rise above it to a frequency where darkness can no longer touch you. I've always believed Sagittarius is the one sign that can see justice not with the eyes, but with the soul. You don't need an apology to feel peace. You don't need to see anyone fall to feel free. When you allow the universe to speak for you, you understand truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to exist. And right now, you are living proof of that truth. Those who once hated you, who whispered behind your back, who wished for your failure, they never truly hated you. They hated the part of themselves that wasn't brave enough to be authentic. When they saw your freedom, your honesty, your refusal to be caged by expectations, it exposed their own fear. But Sagittarius was never born to make others feel small. You were born to illuminate, and light, by its very nature, will always disturb the shadows before it heals them. Jupiter opposing Gemini means truth begins to move. You might notice strange signs, a repeating dream, a familiar name appearing again, an old message resurfacing. These are whispers from the universe saying, the wheel is turning. Every truth is coming home. Every rumor is dissolving. Every wound is quietly healing in ways you didn't expect. You've asked before, why did they hurt me? The answer lies in faith. The universe doesn't test your kindness when life is easy. It tests it when everything falls apart, to see if your light still burns inside the storm. And you, Sagittarius, kept your light alive. That's why Jupiter isn't testing you anymore, it's rewarding you. Your reward isn't money or fame, it's peace. It's knowing you no longer need to prove anything. Some people will crumble not because you wished for it, but because they can't exist in the higher frequency you now embody. When you rise, what's heavy naturally falls away. It's not loss, it's purification. Not everyone who leaves is a crossed tragedy. Not everyone who stays is a blessing. Jupiter is teaching you to know the difference, not through logic, but through intuition. This is the phase of karmic reflection. Most people think karma is punishment, but it's really energy returning home to show us who we've become. If you were misunderstood, now you'll be seen. If something was taken from you, it will return in another form, sometimes as opportunity, sometimes as serenity. And if you ever forgave, you'll see now that forgiveness was never wasted. I've watched many Sagittarians walk through pain guided only by faith. And when they believe, the universe bows. Because Jupiter, your guardian planet, doesn't respond to fear, it responds to belief. When you believe justice will come, it does. When you believe you are worthy, you become so. You are being guided to see that nothing in life happens without purpose. There is no real victory or defeat, only souls who've learned their lesson and souls who haven't yet. So if someone is falling, don't celebrate. Pray for them to awaken. Because only when they awaken does your shared karma finally close. That is the true victory of Sagittarius, the victory of compassion, not vengeance. You were born to remind the world that kindness can be wise, truth can be patient, and light never needs to prove itself. As Jupiter forms a trine with Venus, the energy softens. A warm breeze moves through your life in work, in love, in relationships. Everything feels lighter, more natural. You start to notice the small blessings you used to overlook, a smile from a stranger, a door that opens, a chance encounter that feels fated. Nothing is random. These are the universe's ways of saying thank you for staying kind. Every time you chose silence over revenge, every moment you chose love over resentment, it was recorded. Jupiter remembers. The universe keeps count in light, not in words. So this week, don't get pulled back into old energy. If someone tries to provoke you, smile. If someone gossips, stay silent. Every word carries a frequency. When you choose peace, you let the universe do the talking. And believe me, the universe speaks louder than anyone. You've grown tired of invisible battles and unseen wounds. But this isn't a time to defend yourself anymore. It's time to rise, to be seen, to be honored. Let Jupiter handle the rest. Soon, very soon, you'll see clearly why everything had to happen the way it did. If that woman hadn't hated you, you wouldn't have learned patience. If they hadn't dismissed you, you wouldn't have discovered self-respect. If there hadn't been darkness, you would never have known how bright you could shine. Justice is being served, not through noise, but through the quiet order of the universe. And when it does, you won't feel triumphant, you'll feel free. Because deep down, you'll know everything has finally fallen into place. Sagittarius, this week, live a little slower. Sip your morning coffee with gratitude. Look up at the night sky, smile at Jupiter, and tell yourself, I made it through, and I'm proud of myself. Because as long as your heart stays pure, the universe will hold you in its arms. Your light, Sagittarius, can never be extinguished. It's only growing brighter, bright enough to illuminate the corners that once frightened you. And when you see others falling apart, don't look at them with contempt. Look with compassion. Because their collapse isn't meant to make you win. It's meant to show you that you no longer need to. You just need to keep walking tall, free, honest with your soul. That's when Jupiter smiles, because it knows its child has finally understood that true justice doesn't live in results. It lives in the calm of the heart. Sagittarius, maybe in your life, there's been a woman who made you feel strangely heavy. Not because she did something big, but because every time she appeared, your energy dimmed. Sometimes it was her eyes, sometimes her half-truth words, sometimes the way she smiled when you stumbled. And deep down, you knew there's an invisible thread between you and her, not just from this lifetime, but from much longer ago. In astrology, that woman carries the energy of Lilith, the black moon. Lilith isn't a demon. She's the shadow of the moon, the part of us that was denied, misunderstood, silenced, until it had to rise up and demand justice. When Lilith shows up through a person's presence in your life, it's the universe's way of asking you to face the wounded part of yourself, the one you've ignored, but that now longs to be heard. That woman could be a coworker, an old friend, a relative, even a stranger whose presence unsettled you for reasons you couldn't name. In the Sagittarius chart, Lilith often activates the areas of honor, recognition, and personal voice. So yes, you may have been misjudged, dismissed, or spoken of unfairly, and right there, the lesson of light begins. Lilith teaches you this: you don't need to be loved to exist. You don't need to be accepted to shine. You only need to be honest with your light, even when others choose the shadows. Because the dark doesn't hate the light, it only fears being seen. And when you stand in truth, you become a mirror that forces others to confront themselves. Maybe you've felt that ache, the urge to explain, to prove your innocence, to be understood. But Sagittarius, the truth doesn't need defenders. It only needs to live in peace with itself. When you finally stop trying, when you take a deep breath and release the need for validation, a wave of quiet freedom begins to flow through you. A kind of freedom you've never felt before, freedom from judgment, from others' eyes, from the past itself. Lilith doesn't come to punish, she comes to heal. She brings back the old patterns, the old emotions, the familiar characters who once hurt you, just to ask, have you really let go? Do you still shake when you're misunderstood? Do you still burn with anger when you're overlooked? Or can you now smile and say, I'm fine, because my light doesn't depend on them? When you can say that with your whole heart, Lilith fades, and karma closes its circle. I've seen many Sagittarians walk through this passage in confusion. They ask, why does she hate me? What did I do wrong? But the answer isn't in your actions, it's in energy. She's only mirroring the part of you that once bled in silence. She's the reflection of an old chapter when you were dismissed, compared, made small. But now, you're not that person anymore. And that's exactly why darkness can't bear your light. Sagittarius energy is open, kind, trusting by nature. But when you meet Lilith, you learn boundaries. You learn that kindness doesn't mean letting others drain you. You learn to smile at those who dislike you without lowering your vibration to meet theirs. You learn the power of quiet confidence, how to shine without speaking. And one day, you'll realize enemies are just disguised teachers, because without them, you'd never know how strong you truly are. Without them, you'd never discover that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's the highest form of power. When you forgive, you're not saying, "It didn't hurt." You're saying, "I understand, and I choose freedom." You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. The truth about you will reveal itself when the time is right. The universe never forgets light. Sagittarius, you were born under the flame of integrity. Your soul chose this path to learn faith and freedom, not control or retaliation. So when you meet Lilith in the form of that woman, remember she isn't truly against you. She's unconsciously helping you remember the part of your light you once forgot. Let your heart stay open, not to endure, but to understand. Because everyone who enters our lives, even for a moment, brings a gift. Some bring love, some bring lessons, and this one brings you the gift of self-respect. When you know your worth, no one can truly hurt you. When you know who you are, no voice can shake you. And when you stop begging to be understood, your light becomes something untouchable, something no one can steal or dim, because that light doesn't come from human approval. It comes from a soul that has been burned, purified, and born anew. If your heart still stirs when you remember the looks, the words, the silence, know that you're in the final stage of release. Darkness always struggles hardest right before it dissolves. Don't hate them. Don't hate yourself for once being vulnerable. Just breathe and whisper to your soul, "I forgive. I've learned. I'm free." In astrology, Lilith represents the part of the soul that stands up and says, "I will no longer bow to fear." And you, Sagittarius, are walking that path now. You're learning to love your shadow, not to let it rule you, but to let it melt in the warmth of your awareness. After this phase, your relationships will feel clearer, lighter, more transparent. Those who truly love you will stay. Those who came only to test you will quietly fade. And you won't need to chase or control anything anymore. You'll simply understand every soul has its own timing, and your role is not to fix the world, but to keep your light steady. The world doesn't need you to prove your worth. It just needs you to be you, honest, free, and sincere. The universe has already written the rest. Those who once sowed envy will learn the loneliness of their choices, and you, the one who chose light, will be surrounded by blessings. Let the energy of Lilith drift away like a night wind. Thank her for showing up to help you see yourself more clearly. Then smile and move on. Because ahead of you is the sun, your true symbol. Sagittarius, Your journey was never meant to prove anything. It was meant to show that light can still exist, even in darkness. And the woman who once despised you, she was merely the final mirror you had to look into before the karmic door could close. When you can see her with compassion instead of resentment, in that very moment, you've already won. Not with words, but with your soul. Walk forward with a heart as light as the wind, because the universe is smiling with you. And when you fall asleep tonight, know that Lilith is gone. All that remains is you, Sagittarius, the bearer of truth and compassion, glowing fiercely in the sky, needing no one's validation. Sagittarius, if the earlier parts of your journey were about facing the darkness, now the light within you begins to rise stronger than ever. Mars, the planet of will, of fire, of motion, forms a graceful trine with the Sunday. And this isn't just an astrological event. It's a confirmation. You have awakened. The strength of Mars doesn't come from anger. It comes from awareness, from knowing your worth. When Mars connects with the sun, the symbol of identity, a new flame is born inside you. The fire of self-respect, of quiet confidence, of peace that can't be shaken. This is the point where Sagittarius energy becomes unshakable. You know who you are. You know what's worthy of your time, and you no longer need to shout to be seen. In astrology, the trine between Mars and the sun is called the fire of righteousness. It's the balance of inner drive and calm power. You no longer react from impulse, you respond with wisdom. And that's what sets you apart, even from those who can't admit it. You've been attacked by words, misunderstood, pushed to defend yourself. But now, you've learned that your silence is your greatest weapon. Because when you're silent, you let the universe speak for you. When you no longer need to prove, you allow truth to reveal itself in time. And in that time, you grow deeper, wiser, and brighter. Mars teaches you that forgiveness doesn't mean acceptance, it means releasing yourself from the chains of resentment. Maybe someone is still talking about you, still trying to pull you down. But when you choose not to fight back, it's not weakness, it's mastery. Because no one can take your light unless you hand it to them. Forgiveness, now, is the act of a wise soul. It doesn't erase the past. It simply means you refuse to let the wound steer your life anymore. Negative energy only sticks to the spaces where hatred still lives, and when your heart is filled with compassion, there's no room left for darkness to settle. I once heard someone say, "When you stay silent in love, the universe speaks for you through action." That's the vibration of Mars. Trine the sun, action without words, results without noise. And that's exactly the energy you hold right now, Sagittarius. You don't have to argue your life is speaking. You don't have to prove your light is already spreading. People who once saw you as naive, dreamy, or fragile are beginning to realize you were never weak. You just chose not to use your power to harm. Because true Sagittarius strength isn't about striking back, it's about transforming negativity into growth. Spiritually, this is your phase of reflection rather than reaction. When someone sends darkness, you don't absorb it, you reflect it with light. You don't carry their energy, you return it, purified. And when you do, something magical happens. They begin to see themselves. They look into your calm, steady energy and recognize their own shadow. And sometimes, just by continuing to live well, you awaken others. That's why Mars, in this position, doesn't make you explosive. It makes you steady, like a mountain in the storm. You no longer need to shout. Your presence alone realigns the space around you. Listen to your body. Mars governs physical energy. If you feel tired, rest. If you feel tense, breathe. Every time you choose rest over exhaustion, you honor the sacred fire within. You don't have to be strong the way the world defines strength. Sometimes real power is the courage to pause, to release, to let go of what no longer belongs. Mars is also the symbol of courage, not the kind that charges into every battle, but the kind that knows which ones are worth fighting. Sagittarius is being called now to choose your battles with wisdom. You don't need to respond to every small noise. Save your energy for what truly nourishes your spirit. And when you do, everything meant for you begins to return: work, love, opportunities, faith, all flowing back like rivers to the sea. Because once your energy is clear, it becomes magnetic to what's right. This week, you might notice small signs, someone reaching out after a long silence, or a door that once closed now quietly opens. Don't be surprised. That's the universe responding to your growth. When you use your power to build instead of break, the world around you rearranges itself in peace. I can feel it in your current vibration. There's a new serenity. Not the peace that comes because everything is easy, but the peace that comes from knowing you can survive anything. It's the calm that only appears after you've been through the fire, after you've fallen, healed, and still chosen to smile. Remember this: silence is not weakness. It's the signature of someone who knows their worth. And success doesn't need applause. When you truly shine, your light will find the eyes meant to see it. Sagittarius doesn't fight with words. Words are for the surface world. You win in silence, where only you, your soul, and the universe know the truth. And when you stay silent in love, when you stop trying to prove, the universe will speak for you through miracles, through people, through opportunities, through open doors, all arriving as quiet answers to a heart that stayed pure. This is the moment when Mars within you is no longer a wild flame, but a guiding torch. It burns no one. It simply leads you forward, calm, radiant, and proud. Sagittarius, walk forward on the steady ground of confidence. Speak in the voice of love. Live as if you are the proof that divine justice truly exists. Because when you remain calm in the storm, the world will wonder, how did you do it? And you'll simply smile because you know it's not that you were protected, it's that you became your own protection. Now we speak of Pluto, planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. When Pluto moves, the soul has nowhere left to hide. It doesn't arrive gently. It arrives like an earthquake, quietly destroying everything built on illusion. And now, its light falls upon the sector of your career. The place where you've been judged, misunderstood, or unfairly challenged. It's revealing everything not to wound you further, but to return you to the position that was always rightfully yours. This is when false walls begin to crack. Those who built their image on borrowed light can no longer keep the mask on. Pluto doesn't punish it, simply draws back the curtain. And when real light touches the stage, illusions dissolve. You may start seeing faces drop, words lose weight, relationships once perfect begin to fracture. Don't fear it. That's the universe cleaning the space before truth moves in. Nothing built on lies endures. No success is real if it relies on breaking others down. Sagittarius, you once stayed silent. You watched as others twisted your story, and it hurt. But in that silence, Pluto heard your soul. This planet always sides with truth. And when it acts, it doesn't shout. It simply makes the truth impossible to ignore. The fall of illusion is never comfortable. People lose what they once believed was theirs. But you, who lived in honesty, lose nothing. You're being freed. Those who plotted against you now face the net of energy they themselves wove. Not because you cursed them, but because Pluto always returns what was sent. This is the hour of restored truth. And you, Sagittarius, stand at the center as a witness of justice, without accusation, without revenge. You only have to stand there, calm, and let your light speak. I know there were nights you wondered, will they ever realize what they did? And today, Pluto answers not with apologies, but with revelation. It tears down the glittering shells, one by one, until only truth remains. And that truth is you, your real self, sincere, resilient, unshakably authentic. Pluto represents death for the sake of rebirth. But death here is freedom. You no longer need masks to please anyone. You no longer shrink to be loved. You can be your whole, radiant, unapologetic self. Pluto's strength is silence. It doesn't roar, but it makes the entire cosmos adjust. As this energy moves through your life, watch for the strange coincidences. The person who smeared your name quietly exits. A closed door suddenly opens. An opportunity appears without struggle. That's Pluto at work. And then, in stillness, justice arrives not as punishment, but as truth. You'll feel a deep, clean relief inside, not because others fall, but because you're no longer carrying the weight. You don't need to watch what happens to them. The universe has that covered. Your only task is to keep walking your path of integrity. Look back, you've endured with grace. You stayed honest. You refused to retaliate. And now, the universe repays the patience of your soul. Your light doesn't just heal you, it restores faith in others. When they see you rise again, they remember that justice still exists, that good still prevails, that truth cannot stay buried forever. Pluto isn't just cleaning your outer world, it's resurrecting your inner one. After this, you'll feel the shift. You won't crave debate, proof, or validation. You'll just want peace, to live truthfully, to do good, to let life rebalance itself. That's the mark of someone who has walked through fire and wasn't burned. Some people will drift away. Let them. If they're leaving now, they no longer vibrate with your frequency. Pluto never takes what belongs, it removes what limits. After every collapse, it builds something stronger, purer. And from those ashes, a new version of you rises wise, grounded, untouchable. You've crossed the hardest part. The false walls are falling both outside and within. You're no longer trapped in the illusion that you must be loved to be safe. Now you know being honest is enough. As clarity settles, smile. Because you're witnessing one of those rare moments when the universe reveals its justice, not through punishment, but through truth. If you've ever seen this unfold in your life, take it as confirmation. The universe always knows. Each time illusion collapses, a soul is set free. And that soul, Sagittarius, is you. There is a strange peace that only comes when you no longer need to win. When you stop proving that you're right, worthy, strong, you realize you never needed that victory. What you needed was freedom. Freedom from judgment. Freedom from the memory of those who hurt you. Freedom from the hunger to be understood. When you understand that letting go isn't loss, but a higher form of love, self-love, you enter the vibration of serenity. Astrologically, Saturn and Jupiter are weaving this lesson together for you. Saturn teaches boundaries, the enough point of emotion and trust. Jupiter, your ruling planet, teaches expansion, kindness, faith, the belief that even in loss, you are held. They don't oppose each other. They compose the music of maturity. Letting go isn't turning away. It's telling the universe, I trust that what's no longer right for me will leave on its own. And when you say that from the heart, your energy shifts. You stop clinging to the past. You stop fearing solitude. You stop needing to be understood. You simply exist, and that is enough. I know it took pain to learn this. You forgave and were hurt again. You opened your heart and were taken for granted. You stayed silent and were misunderstood. But none of it was meant to harden you. It was meant to teach you to love without losing yourself. Kindness doesn't mean allowing others to walk over you. Kindness only holds power when paired with wisdom. When you can say no, calmly and lovingly, you're practicing the highest form of self-respect. Saturn whispers, not everyone who enters is meant to stay. Not everyone who leaves must be chaste. That's the boundary. And Jupiter answers, don't fear loss. Every empty space is where light enters. That's faith. Together they form the art of a spiritually grown life. You were born wanting to heal the world, Sagittarius. You hate seeing pain. You want to make peace, to mend, to give. But sometimes giving too much drains you. And so, the universe pauses you, forcing you to see. No one can be saved until they choose to be. No one can receive love until they're ready to accept it. And no one can hurt you unless you let them in too deep. Letting go doesn't make you harder, it makes you wiser. You still love, but without attachment. You still care, but without control. You still remember, but without chains. You still wish them well even if they're no longer in your story. That's love at the soul level, where possession is replaced by peace. Sometimes, letting go is the bravest act. Because it demands faith that on the other side of pain lies dawn. And you, Sagittarius, child of light, seeker of horizons, always find dawn, even after the longest night. Think of all the times you said, "I'll never get through this." And then one morning, you woke up lighter. That's the miracle of release. No ritual needed, just the quiet moment you stop fighting the flow and let it carry you where you're meant to go. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to make anyone understand. Once you understand yourself, the world will follow. That's the power of letting go. You may feel a touch of loneliness now, but the loneliness of awakening isn't emptiness. It's space, the kind that lets you hear your own soul. From that silence, you'll know what stays, what leaves, what you can simply smile at and let the wind take away. Sagittarius, when you no longer wish to win over anyone, you begin to win over yourself. When you stop proving, you become proof. When you stop speaking, your light speaks for you. And when you let go, you don't lose, you return to the frequency of peace. If you're still thinking of someone who once broke your heart, place your hand over your chest and whisper, "I forgive you not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace." That is the moment your soul becomes free. And when Jupiter's light meets Saturn's steadiness, you begin to see that maturity isn't about becoming harder. It's about becoming gentler through understanding. You no longer fear being hurt because you've learned how to heal yourself. You no longer fear abandonment because you've become your own shelter. Letting go, in the end, isn't an ending, it's a beginning. It's the smile that looks forward without clinging to what's behind. It's seeing someone who once hurt you and sincerely wishing them peace. It's realizing that true kindness never needs a reward. And if anyone ever asks, "Have you ever forgiven, yet still chosen not to go back?" you can say, "Yes." And that was the moment I came home to myself. Sagittarius, you were born to move, to explore, to open your heart to what's new. But the most beautiful journey you'll ever take is the one that leads inward, the journey where you learn to let go and realize that peace isn't the destination, it's the path itself. As the full moon rises this month, it illuminates your 12th house, the realm of the subconscious, karma, and hidden truths. An invisible gate is opening, not a physical one, but an energetic one where every action, good or bad, begins returning to its origin. This moon isn't soft. It's bright, cold, but honest. It shines into the corners of your mind where memories sleep and into the souls of those who've crossed your path in love, in pain, in silence. The full moon in the 12th house is like a cosmic mirror. Everyone begins to see their own reflection. Those who once spoke against you, who took opportunities from you, who wounded you with sweet words that cut like glass, they're entering a season where the soul can no longer hide. Don't celebrate, don't condemn. Just watch and understand. Everything is being set right. In astrology, the 12th house is the chamber where secrets unravel, where karma balances, where humans face their shadows. No one escapes it, not you, not me, not even those who believed they never would. But the beauty is, this energy doesn't punish, it balances. That's the gift this moon brings. You might notice something shift, someone may reach out to apologize, a hidden truth may surface, or your heart may simply feel lighter, as if an unseen weight has finally lifted. That's what karmic release feels like when you no longer want revenge, only awakening. The universe doesn't need your hand to deliver justice. Divine timing never misses. It may be late, but it's never wrong. And it usually arrives when you've stopped expecting it. Sagittarius is the sign of faith. And now, your faith is being tested. Do you still believe in good? Do you still believe that truth survives time? If you do, this moon is your confirmation. Everything is being returned quietly, gently, undeniably. You might see someone struggling and think, they deserve it. But then your Jupiter heart will whisper, no, I just want them to wake up. Because you know, when a soul awakens, karma ends. When they understand the pain they caused, the cycle breaks and light flows again. You don't have to demand justice. Let the moon do that. You just stand in the frequency of compassion. That's how Sagittarius heals the world, through light, not war. And when you choose forgiveness, when you stop wishing them pain and start wishing them clarity, the universe rewards you with deep peace. Because karma isn't only what others repay, it's what you're freed from. This full moon is a global cleansing, washing away old energy. Your light, the light that's walked through shadow, now grows stronger than ever. You no longer need apologies or explanations. You simply know. The universe always knows. And what belongs to you is already on its way back. If you find your heart softening, if tears fall not from sorrow but from understanding, that's the sign you're crossing the threshold. The gate of acceptance. The gate of faith. The gate of release. Let the moon rinse the old memories away. Let your light touch the parts of your soul that once hurt. And if these words resonate, share them not for attention, but to spread faith in divine justice. Because every time you choose to believe, you help the world shine a little brighter. Sagittarius. After the long, shadowed months, as the heavy energy leaves your chest, the sky begins to change color. Can you feel it? A warm, tender wind, whispering, "You can breathe now." Jupiter, your sacred guardian, opens a new road. And as it forms a trine with Venus, a golden door swings open. The door of luck, of blessings, of karmic rewards born from patience, compassion, and unshakable faith. This is the return of light, quiet, sweet, real. Everything that once hurt you is turning into opportunity, joy, and gifts carefully wrapped by unseen hands. You don't have to fight anymore. You just have to smile, because the good is arriving faster than you think. Your story doesn't end in the wound, it begins in the light. The union of Jupiter and Venus brings a special frequency, rebirth through happiness. It opens paths to new work, sincere love, genuine recognition, all from people who see your worth without you proving it. If you've felt forgotten, underestimated, unseen, this is the universe's way of saying, I saw everything. You'll receive what's yours, not through demand, but through alignment. Doors reopen. People return with new energy. Not all to stay, but each, bearing a piece of your blessing. In astrology, Jupiter trine Venus isn't only about wealth or romance, it's about faith confirmed. When you believe that goodness still exists, you become a magnet for miracles. When you stop doubting, life mirrors your faith with small daily wonders. A message you needed, a kind word, a chance you didn't expect. Remember, forgiveness doesn't make you weak. It shows your trust in divine order. You don't need a sword to protect yourself, your light already does. And when you choose love over hate, you not only free your soul, you lighten the world. Pluto taught you to see illusion fall. The full moon taught you to accept karma. Now, Jupiter teaches you to receive reward. It's the art of opening your heart, trusting that happiness is deserved not because you're flawless, but because you're true. Imagine the universe as a great river. You've been swimming upstream through pain and doubt. Now, the current lifts you. You drift toward dawn, weightless, glowing. Everything feels easier, brighter, kinder. You don't need to fight the flow anymore. This is a powerful time to make a wish. Write down what you desire. Big or small, Jupiter and Venus are listening. When the planets of joy and grace align, every prayer made with gratitude shapes reality. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Open your heart. Blessings aren't always money or fame. Sometimes, luck is simply waking up peaceful, knowing you're living a life that's real and fearless. Sagittarius, you're returning to your strongest self. A version that doesn't crave noise or spotlight, only truth. You don't need the world's approval. The universe has already signed its recognition. Every challenge was a brick in the foundation of your blessing, so look ahead with gratitude. Thank those who hurt you, they taught you patience. Thank yourself for never giving up. And thank the universe for leading you home through every wrong turn. Now, as Jupiter's light floods your path, trust that goodness is coming back. There's nothing left to fear, nothing left to prove. You've made it through. And now, it's life's turn to smile back at you. If these words resonate, close your eyes, take a breath, and whisper softly, I am ready to receive the blessings of the universe. Sagittarius, when all storms have passed, when the dust of the past finally settles, your soul begins to whisper softly, I understand now. This is the phase where chaos no longer shakes you. There is no struggle left, no one to blame. There is only you and the quiet glow of your own light. Sagittarius is the emblem of cosmic wisdom. You weren't born to retaliate, you were born to illuminate. That is your sacred mission, not to burn, but to guide. Everything that has ever happened, even the things that hurt you deeply, was never meaningless. They were lessons to remind you that light never truly dies, even when covered by layers of shadow. The woman who once despised you, the one who caused your pain, was only a mirror of your former self. The part that once craved validation, longed to be loved, understood, respected. But now, you no longer need that. You've outgrown it. You've matured enough to know that true love never demands, and real self-respect never needs to prove itself. Under the radiant blessing of Jupiter, your ruling planet, your soul awakens. You begin to see that happiness isn't about having everything, it's about being free from everything that owns you. What left you was meant to. What remains is what's real. And through it all, your heart still believes, still loves, still feels gratitude. Love and self-respect are the two wings of freedom. One teaches you to open your heart. The other teaches you to protect it. When you learn to fly with both, you no longer fear losing anyone. You no longer fear betrayal. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You become truly free, able to love without fear, to give without expectation, and to walk away without hate. The journey of Sagittarius has never been easy. You are the wanderer among the stars, carrying in your heart the eternal questions of meaning, of faith, of love. But this very journey makes your soul shine, because you dared to walk where others turned away. You dared to lose in order to find. You dared to cry in order to understand. You dared to forgive in order to be free. And now, you have become the light that others follow. If peace is returning to your heart, write these words: I am ready to live with a fearless heart. Because the moment you say it, you send a signal to the heavens. I have completed my lesson. Know this, your soul has completed a great circle. You have suffered, you have learned, and now you are ready to step into a higher octave, one of kindness, wisdom, and serenity. The past holds no power over you anymore. You no longer need to prove anything. People can feel your energy the moment you walk into a room, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Sagittarius, remember, enlightenment doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from keeping a soft heart after you've seen everything. Let your gentleness be your strength, the strength of one who has walked through darkness and refused to become it. And if you're smiling today, not for any grand reason, but simply because you feel peace, that is the miracle. That's the sign your soul has come home. Your light has returned. Sagittarius, you have walked a long, sacred road where light and shadow met, where faith was tested, where your soul was forged in fire. Now, when you look back, you see it, everything had its purpose. No one entered your life without reason, and no one left before fulfilling their role. Your enemies have fallen not because you wished for it, but because your light became too bright for them to survive within it. As you grow, what no longer matches your frequency fades away naturally. There's no need to fight, to avenge, or to celebrate. Just keep shining, and darkness will retreat on its own. You've outgrown the need to prove you're right or worthy. Now you're entering a new era, the era of presence. No noise, no applause, no validation needed. You just know you're on the right path. You feel peace in your heart, and that is enough. That's true freedom, when you are no longer defined by your past or pulled down by envy. You simply are. You breathe. You exist. And in your existence, the universe uses you as proof that light always wins. It may take time, but it has never lost. I know you've endured much. There were days you doubted you'd make it, nights you wanted to give up, but you didn't. And that's why today, you stand here no longer who you were, but the strongest, kindest, and most awakened version of yourself. If these words speak to your heart, leave a and share this message with someone who needs faith. Because maybe you are the reason someone doesn't give up tonight. One simple act, one spark of belief, can become a torch for a soul wandering in the dark. And before we close, remember this: every dream carries a message. When you start dreaming of light, of oceans, of a departed loved one, or a place you've never seen, it's not random. Your soul is receiving a signal the next chapter of your journey is calling. In the next video, I'll reveal why your recent dreams are not coincidences, but messages from a soul reaching out to you from the other side. Not to frighten you, but to remind you, you were never alone. Keep that light in your heart, Sagittarius. Because from this moment on, you are no longer just the one being guided by the flame. You are the flame itself.